Earlier today, President Trump, during a press conference, said that he believed Mexico would pay for the U.S. border wall. This comes a day after his reported interest of asking Congress for 18 billion to fund the wall, and I have in the past criticized what I feel is a basic lack of common sense in the fact that you have many people who are homeless, can't afford certain things, whether it's college or just anything that they deal with on a day-to-day basis. And there's always this idea of us not having enough cash to take care of them or to provide assistance, when in reality we have what I would call a two-sided um, interest, where one side says, we're sympathetic to the cause of the common man, all the while doing things that are not proportionate to assisting the common man. Now, I've stated in the past that I've been no fan of Trump or of any of his immediate predecessors, but really my issue comes from this idea that you will see people who are supporters of his will say, yeah, he's cracking down on illegal immigration. If I can remember correctly, 70% of immigrants that were trying to get through the border wall decreased immediately after his inauguration. Now, I would attribute that more to his rhetoric than anything he actually did while in office or since being in office. And when you have a hawkish stance on this, backed by the fact that there are many people who deal with issues that are unrelated to this issue, it gets to kind of annoy me. As a person who sees disparity regularly where they live or just online, and knowing that we have that money, billions, and not using it to assist anyone from the bottom class. And there are those who will say, oh, well, the tax bill did this. And it gets to be so irritating because no one can just come out and say, yes, we need to actually try and help people that are less fortunate. And sometimes you have to put your money where your mouth is. And it feels as though the only times they're willing to use cash is for the military or some policy stance that doesn't have to do with actually benefiting the people that already live here. Whether or not you think illegal immigrants commit crimes, which they do, it's nowhere near the proportion of those who come from the U.S. that are committing crimes. Um, and so everything that's done toward them, whether it's positive or negative, other than perhaps DACA, I just think needs to be at the back burner of domestic programs. But I realize my stance is one that is not viewed in the same way by many of the politicians and their supporters. There are those that talk about making America great again, and I wonder, is making America great again spending billions of dollars on a wall and spending zilch on helping those that live in cardboard boxes and live paycheck to paycheck and have to adhere to subsidized housing? This is making America great again. We're going to stick a wall that costs more cash than the number of people that it's even going to go to toward assisting, and we'll have supporters that will clap their hands while people starve and or continue to live substandard lives as a result of our choosing to use our massive funds towards something else. And again, I tried very hard to play Mr. Neutral on a lot of things Trump did. I criticize it here or there. But it's as though supporters of his don't have, even if they say it's good to care about the homeless, they'll never chastise the using of billions of dollars over things that don't impact people on a day-to-day basis. And look, this is something that could be looked upon or frowned upon on the part of his predecessors, on the part of various members of Congress, especially those politicians on the state level. I'm not saying just blame Trump for everything, but when you have policies that in effect cost that much revenue, and you choose to take it and put it in something else instead of toward those that live here, I don't understand it, and I further don't understand why his backers don't get that opinion. I mean, there's always a defense for this stuff, and it's aggravating.